it's Denise, and I was busy in the studio yesterday for a couple hours doing jelly plate prints. And I'm making backgrounds for some of the ceramic pieces that I have going into my Two Mediums, Two Artists show in May. And then that show is all about not only our paintings, but also clay pieces. And I know I mentioned it before in here, but I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes look at some of the stuff that I've been working on. I really am liking my clay pieces. Sometimes it's a broken piece of clay, and sometimes I've made them specifically for more of a flat surface and to be framed and hang on the wall. So I decided to pull out my jelly plate yesterday, and I actually had 3 going at the same time. So it was pretty crazy, and it was really hard to keep my thoughts straight on what each plate was doing. But I think all in all, I got a pretty good turnout from the pieces that I ended up with. And hang on, and if you wait to the end of the video, which isn't very long because this is a short video, you'll see some of the pieces that I saved that I'm going to be using in this show. It helped that I pulled out a limited palette. I think I may have had 4 or 5 colors out on my tables all at once. And that way I didn't have to stop and think about what color was going to work, because I was using all of them and all of the colors seemed to work pretty well together. So I cut out masks, and I stenciled, and I added some mask into some of the pieces, which turned out to be pretty cool in the end, because those very masks ended up having paint color on them that I could then go back and collage onto some of the pieces that I had made with the jelly plate. Now, you almost can't go wrong with jelly prints. I know sometimes, you mess up and it's just not going to work. But I find that the more and more I layer over things, the richer they become and the better they become. So that's part of the fun for me, is when I pull something I think is not going to work, I just let it sit and I add a few more layers to it. And I can always seem to turn it into something. So don't give up. Keep on working it. Now, these little masks work really good. I do find that I like making them with a manila envelope more than I do with plastic or with Mylar. Or sometimes I've used a notebook sheet, the plastic that you slip papers into. I find that the manila envelope works really well. It lays flat. It kind of builds up when the more paint you have on it, and that you can use it for a collage element as you move forward is even better. So I hang on to all my little masks, and I have a storage of those that I use either for my jelly plate or for adding into collage. Now, like I said, I had 3 jelly plates going at the same time, which was kind of chaotic, and it was really good because it gave me time in between to let things dry, because I could go from one plate to the next to the next. And I do find the longer you let your paper stay on the plate once you've laid it down and smoothed it out, the more likely it is that you're going to get a better pull. Now, it's really important to know what kind of paper you're using and to experiment and find out what works for you, because some papers don't like to be left on. So when you pull them up, the papers will rip and stick to your plate. So there is a paper that I'm using here. I believe it's by Reflections, and I got it at Michael's. It has a little bit of a linen texture to it, and it comes in colors which sometimes works and sometimes not so great. But I love it because I can leave it on the plate. When everything's dry, it pulls off really nice without a lot of tears. So that was really great, having 3 plates going, so I could kind of manage all of them at the same time. Now, this one right here, I lay my stencils down, my masks down, and I blotted off some of the color because I wanted to use a ghost print I love ghost prints, and I was pretty excited with how this one turned out. It's pretty rich and pretty cool. It's got a lot of good stuff going on. I have a metallic cobalt blue in there. It's actually more teal, but I really love that print. Sadly, I'm about to ruin that print. So I'm laying my mask out and knowing that this is going to turn out just exactly so perfect. I just wanted to add a little bit of a white layer over top of this and then have all those dark rich colors showing through. So I got my white paint on my plate. I got my mask. I'm going to roll it out. And if you're paying attention, you're going to see what I do wrong. Roll it out, and then I lay my print down right over everything, which is not right. I should have and meant to pull that mask up. As a result, the mask stuck to the wet paint and stuck to that beautiful print, which is no more. However, I really liked it. So I pulled all the paper off and put a coat of medium over it and collage pieces, and yeah, it turned out pretty good. Okay, so here are the papers that I made in a couple of hours yesterday in the studio. This was actually the paper that I thought I had screwed up by letting the mask stick to it, and turns out it's one of my favorites. So I have a couple of 12 by 12s to use for my show that's coming up. And because I use all the same colors in my palette, these all work together really nicely. These are some other pieces that I was working on yesterday that I had time to go back and collage and add elements to them. I love this one. And they're just super fun to work with. A couple of them, I'll be able, once I have them framed and backed, able to add some of my clay pieces to them. And that's the whole purpose of this show, is two artists, two mediums, and showing what we're doing with paint and with clay. And I got some really fun backgrounds just to have on hand for when I need something to work on. So I was pretty happy with how things turned out yesterday. I have a couple of these all set and ready. The clay is on where I want to have it, where I want to put it, and they will also go into frames. And then I have some pieces that are just all ceramic, and those also are going to be framed. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff to get ready for this show, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.